Hey, this is Andrew. A few weeks ago, I started having troubles with my accelerator. I'd be driving and I'd let my foot off the gas and the gas would continue to go. And I'd push in the clutch and it would rev really loud. So I took this cover off to check the throttle cable because I thought that might be the problem. And there's a little broken piece on inside, a little broken plastic piece right here. So I figured I should probably replace it. So that's what I'm going to be showing you, how to replace the throttle cable. So first thing you want to do is take off this plastic cover, and what you're going to need is, well, I'm just going to use a 5.5 millimeter socket, and there's a bolt right here and a bolt right there on the other side. You just got to take those off and it'll come right off. So it's the first thing to do. Alright, to remove the throttle cable from the inside of the engine bay, just follow it back from there. It goes to the firewall, and you got to remove 2 bolts that are holding it into the firewall. And I'm just going to use 5/16 bolt. 5/16 socket to undo those 2 bolts, and then I should be able to pull it out of the firewall. And after I do that, I will unclip the throttle cable from its mount right there, and it should be able to come off completely. Alright, so I got the old one off. I just unclipped the plastic piece from the inside on the pedal, took out those 2 screws, there's one of them right there, and then pulled it through the firewall. I unclipped this from the mount right there and just popped this piece off the top of this knob right there, and you can tell the plastic was pretty bad shape because when I was pulling it off it cracked and went into pieces, so I think it really needed to be replaced. And inside right there you can see why it needs to be replaced. I think when I was pushing in the gas, every once in a while it would contract and it would stick, maybe on the spring or something, and so that plastic piece was probably the reason. But it's also good just to replace the cable anyway because it's pretty old. So now next thing to do is just to put on the new one. So I'll just work my way back. It has a different clip-on thing, but it's basically the same. Just clip it on right there, run it through the mount, through the firewall, and onto the pedal. Alright, so I got the replacement throttle cable from AutoZone, and as you probably know, not all of their parts are exact fit. So I don't know if you can see it or not, but right there's quite a bit of extra cable. So if I push on the gas pedal, it only goes down a little bit. And as far as I know, there's no way to tighten up the throttle cable because it's just one straight piece. So what I'm gonna have to do is, you could either get something like a little U clamp kind of thing, and you slide that through, and then it has little nuts on it, and you tighten it so that the pedal can be up here. Or you can get what I got, and I'm gonna see if it works, these little ferrule things. So I'm probably gonna have to cut this end off so I can get those on, because they don't slide on the wire. So that's what I'm gonna do. See if it works. Alright, so I got the ferrule on there, as you can see right there. And I also put this bigger clamp on there. It's really just an electrical clamp. Screws down like that, but I just didn't trust the ferrule enough to hold the wire, and I kind of want to trust my gas pedal to work, so I put that on there just in case. So I made sure I did have to cut the wire because it was too long, so I made sure that when I clamped that ferrule on there that the pedal was hitting this stop right there, because then I have a whole pedal length to push down. So now I got that on there, got the new throttle cable on there, and as you can see, the pedal has a pretty good range of motion. So might even be better than it was before, because it was probably a little loose before with the old throttle cable. So I'll test it out and see if it's improved. But that's basically how you install a throttle cable. If it was a stock fitment, then I wouldn't have to go through all the process of cutting it and putting a ferrule on there and stuff like that. If you know how to do it, it probably just take about 10 minutes or so. It's not that hard at all. So, hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.